So, Rachel, let's start this discussion.
All right.
You got nominated for a Rising Phoenix Award by
did.
yours truly. Thank you so much for agreeing to accept the nomination.
Yeah, thank you for nominating me.
You are welcome. You're welcome. I know a little bit about your story, but nobody else that's listening to this probably does.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are willing to share a little bit about some of the things you've encountered along the way, some of the challenges, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So I didn't really have the easiest childhood. Kind of started with, I got diagnosed with diabetes at a really young age, and then, a year after, I got diagnosed with epilepsy. So it was kind of back to back, and it caused, I don't want to say it caused a strain on my family, but it definitely caused a lot of worry about me, and, it changed how I live my life on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
And, actually indirectly, my sister kind of saved my life at one point, because I'm going to tell this story.
All right.
I remember when I had my first seizure, I was in the bathtub. Me and Leo were in the bathtub.
Uh-huh.
And I went under.
Okay.
And she said, "Mom, Rachel's splashing me. Tell her to quit splashing me." Da, 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 and starts tattling. I mean, my mom coming in the bathroom, noticed I was having a seizure, and pulled me out. I was submerged.
Okay.
And so I think, that caused a lot of trauma, not only for me, but for all involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary to watch a 7-year-old experience that. And
Yeah.
so I've had nothing but love and support regarding my health issues growing up, and I can't thank my sister or my mom enough for that.
Yeah.
I had a woman in my life that I looked up to, starting at a very young age, and she would always tell me that, it was my mom's fault I got diabetes. It's not my fault. It's not an autoimmune disorder. You had too much ice cream that day, so now you're affected for the rest of your life, right?
Okay.
And
Right.
try to kind of create a divide starting with that. And so I had a lot of back and forth between that woman and my mom. I had a lot of resentment for my mom growing up, which caused a lot of behavioral issues. And, I really looked up to this woman. And she I remember she told me, I used to have a mild intellectual disability. I still kind of do in terms of comprehending written and verbal instruction.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman would tell me, well, if you just took notes in school, if you just paid attention, you would do better. Like, you wouldn't be flunking all the time. But then I would go to school, I'd take notes, I'd do everything under the sun and still fail. So I was just like, I'm a failure. Growing up, I was like, I've never felt good enough. I was mad at my mom. I was mad at the world. I was angry at everybody.
Sure.
And then I went into college. I remember I wanted to get a degree in either the health field or something related like nursing, and I was just failing left and right. Like, couldn't grasp it. And I finally decided to go into social work. I remember I used to lean a lot on my cousin Chelsea in terms of talking about these traumas and what was going on, and she would always kind of be the one to be like, your mom didn't do anything wrong, don't be mad. And, we both struggled with, mental health.
Mm-hmm.
She struggled a lot more with suicidal ideation.
Mm-hmm.
And she always told me, like, I'm always going to be here. We got each other no matter what. And then on January 29th, almost 2 years ago, she had committed suicide.
Yeah.
And that was right after I was in the middle of my social work program. It was right after I started with you.
Yeah, I remember.
So I just felt everything take a tumble again. After I thought I got it all together, I found what I wanted to do. I felt smart. I felt like I was thriving. That one person that kind of held everything together just left.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of a lot in one synopsis, but that's really the gist of it, the majority of it.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was down for like 6 months. My mental health was so bad. And, struggling to get out of bed was a major part of my day. The motivation to actually get up and go to class or sorry to say it, go to my my internship,
No,
it was difficult. And I realized, that's when I realized social work is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Really, because I thought I was going to drop out.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to Dave Manville and saying, I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to quit. I'm done. And he said, that's fine, but can we talk first? Can we meet first? And I was like, sure, why not? You know, I only met with Dave at that point maybe 1 or 2 times. So I was like, I don't know what he's going to say that's really going to change it, but he just made a huge impact. He brought me to Sweetwater's in downtown Ypsilanti. We had coffee. Took about 2 hours just to get everything out, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave is quite a positive impact. Is there anything you want to say to Dave?
Thank you, Dave. You're the best.
I'll leave that in.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be at the award ceremony. Now, I will also give you some feedback. Having been your internship coordinator, right, the person that you were working for, and I've had several interns come through here, and you're going through some really hard things. You're working full time, or at least part time. You're going to class. You're dealing with life. You have the suicide of somebody who's very important to you, and there's an internship, right? You have to go to a job that you're not even getting paid for. Mm-hmm. And I will say that of everybody who's come through this program, you are the one who continually showed up, and you were continually ready to do the work, and you were continually putting on a strong face. And I've seen some people not be able to do that. Mm-hmm. So I want to just give you that feedback. You've done a brilliant job of working your way through some very challenging things.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So you've gone through a lot of stuff. I know you've had some mental health issues of your own, suicide ideation of your own, and a lot of us have, including me. But you've risen past it. You're going on and doing something else. Mm-hmm. What is it you're doing now, and what do you want to do?
I currently work for Washtenaw County CMH. I work in the Adults with Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Department. Mm-hmm. I'm a case manager. Mm-hmm. It is so rewarding. And I remember when I applied, I wanted to work in the mental illness department. And I got the confirmation email for my interview, and it said adult IDD. And I was like, oh, that's not what I want to do. But something in me was just kind of like, do it, try it. You know, you might like it. And, I got hired. The week after my interview, I got hired. And it's tough working with adults with autism because sometimes they understand. Sometimes, they understand everything that's what's going on. And other times they don't. And so, it's really challenging kind of trying to navigate, you have to talk to each person differently. Mm-hmm. And I guess I always told myself, like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, But recently, there was something that really kind of sparked in me, and I was like, I need to stay with these people. They need somebody like me. And I remembered back when that woman that I was saying prior, she would say, you're stupid. Take notes in class and do what you're supposed to, and you'll succeed. Right. I had an intellectual disability. And I was like, there are so many people giving up on this population, and I cannot be one of them.
Yeah. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Blessings. You've got angel wings.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say I might change fields just to experience because it is my first social work job, but I think working with this population really made its impact, and I think if something falls through, this is what I'm gonna fall back on. Yeah. It's a great line of work. Mm-hmm. It makes a huge difference. Yeah.
If you had the chance to go back and talk to little Rachel. Right, mm-hmm. You've got the benefit of all this experience. You've got the benefit of having been through the conflict between that woman and your mother, and the impact it had on you, and the mental health issues and the experiences you've had with people taking their own lives. Now that's in the rearview mirror, and you can post-process it. Mm-hmm. What would you tell little Rachel about what's ahead of her on the path?
I would definitely confirm that the feelings are valid. The anger, resentment, all of it that you're feeling is valid, but that you're going to grow from it and do amazing things. Yeah. And you just can't see it yet. Yeah. Like, you only see a portion of your life, and that portion hasn't been great. So I know you're probably angry and frustrated and upset, and let that out how you need to, but mm-hmm. you're going to grow, and you're going to be okay. Yeah. Things will be just fine.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, and I still have my battles, with myself from time to time. And I think, I just kind of take a step back and I evaluate myself. What can I do you know, not everybody's going to be there at the drop of a hat, right? So you have to learn how to navigate your mental illness on your own. How can I help myself?
Yeah.
I relied most of my life on other people. I had a 5-year relationship where he was every type of abuse for 5 years. But I leaned on him so heavily for my mental health that it just plummeted. And after that relationship, you know, it's like, how do I learn to be on my own and do what I'm supposed to manage myself?
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of emotional regulation, and that is fairly recent. I'll admit that. But now I have my boyfriend Michael. You know Michael, truly amazing person. And he really kind of promotes, you know, do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to make me upset or anybody, you need to do what makes you happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So he's very incredibly supportive.
He is. He
Yeah.
is. Yeah, there's kind of I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding about healing and mental health specifically. So those of us who have traumas, for example, you know, there's this idea that someday I'm going to be healed, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be fixed. It's going to be better.
Right.
And the reality is we're going to be healing for the rest of our lives, right?
Yeah.
There is no heal. There is no there. It's a part of the journey.
Right.
And everything that you experience and everything that you learn is helping you heal, and you're going to keep healing.
Yeah.
And you're doing a brilliant job of growing and healing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything you want to add?
No, thank you for all of your support, and thank you to everybody in my life that has stuck by me, whether good or bad. You know, I lived with Leah since, well, my mom moved in with my stepdad, and me and Leah lived together for a while, and that didn't quite work out. But
Siblings can be tough together.
yes, but to this day, I think we consider ourselves almost friends, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. If it helps.
and she's experienced probably the worst of it in terms of the health issues, in terms of me trying to figure out what's wrong with, you know, not wrong with me, but my mental illness, trying to balance that and not being really healthy about it. You know, she's been through all of that and has really helped guide me throughout the way.
Yeah.
So, and now we both work in mental health, so here we are.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not supposed to get on the camera myself, but I'll say to Leah, thank you for not letting her drown in the bathtub.
You're welcome.